Excellent. All right, so this is Mr. Chow, and this is a special presentation, and let's have the marijuana talk. So, and this presentation is based on the research done by this organization. It's called American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. So these are actually psychiatric doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, and they publish their magazine. And if they have any kind of research, they publish the magazine. And this is called peer-reviewed article. So what does that mean is this article, before it reaches the public, 5 other doctors have to examine what they say is true. So this is true scientific research. I didn't make this up. And by the way, there are probably hundreds and thousands of reports will agree with this one. So let's take a look at this, okay? So, overview. Let's talk about, by the way, this report is fresh out of Auburn, okay? September 2018, 1 month ago, okay? Many students try marijuana and some use it regularly, okay? That's the first sentence. Okay. Second, they say the marijuana use is at the highest level in the last 30 years. That means when I went to high school, it was about 30 years ago, we don't see a lot of marijuana, seriously. We don't see as many incidences and people sent to the office like right now. Okay. The only time that I saw marijuana, the only incident that I had was in the weightlifting room, and there were like 4 or 5 guys. They always went back to this dark, small room, and then they came out all laughing, and I always wonder why they laugh so hard. What's so funny back in that room? And then it was after I became a teacher, and I said, oh my goodness, they were smoking marijuana back there. I didn't even know that back then when I was in high school. But right now it's very, very prevalent. That word means widespread. It's very, very close to us. So in the last 30 years, it changed a lot. Okay, and also because a lot of states passed the recreational marijuana law, and California is one of them. So marijuana is so easy to find. If you're living in somewhere, for example, like Nebraska, probably don't have the law. Okay, but here marijuana is. But you have to understand this. At no time in any state that they pass a law and say children and teenagers are legally to use marijuana. They know the difference. Okay, so let me present to you why they know the difference. Teenager and adults using marijuana, completely different stories. Okay, so you do not find that in any country, in any culture, in any state, saying, oh, it's okay for children and teenagers to use marijuana. No bueno. Okay, and also I didn't realize this. This is research. They say today the marijuana plant that we're growing today is different than the past because they use agriculture engineering. They boost up 2 or 3 times of the chemical called THC. And this is the chemical that makes people high. Okay, they actually probably genetically modify the marijuana plant, or they use cross, growing. They just, and in the last 10 years, so they're saying the marijuana that people growing right now is completely different than what they grow 10 years ago. The THC has spiked up 2 or 3 times. Okay, and a lot of people talk about medical marijuana. I have to learn this. So we had this conversation before, but there's ingredient CBD. Okay, this is the chemical one that can, like a medical reason. This will calm your mind, and this will cure seizures and everything. But I found out in the regular marijuana use, this chemical is only 1% of the regular marijuana use. It's very, very tiny amount, but they spec up that one. Okay, so gotta be careful on this. Okay, now
CBD is expensive.
I know. I lost hearings and I have insomnia. I couldn't sleep at night. I actually have adults on this campus tell me, hey, Mr. Chow, you need to get some of that CBD stuff. Okay. And the person told me, hey, it actually cured my wife's, insomnia and everything. And he told me this is not a drug. It's not going to get you high. Okay. And he actually gave me a location in Palm Desert and said, hey, Mr. Chow, you can go there and buy it. And I haven't gone there yet. I thought about it, but I'm not there yet. and I want to wait until I really feel
It's
really
good because there's no THC trace in CBD, so if you were to take a drug test, nothing will come out.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think that one is okay. They actually try to pass a law in California. They can have CBDs in the office because if students really have a seizure or attack, and that's a very, very good medicine to them have and not have a life-threatening issues. So legislator in Sacramento trying to do that right now. Now, this is a different report. I got this from another research online, but this is from the most credible agency. This is called Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. This is the federal agencies. They deliberately talk about drugs used in the United States. If you have outbreak of any kind of disease, they are the one that talk to you. This is as high as it goes as drug prevention, and they talk about drugs and everything. If the drug wanted to come to the market, they have to test it. This is the holy grail of drug agency in the United States. So they came out with this report. This report is kind of funny. Okay, I'm sorry for the misspelled words. So sorry about that. Okay, misspelled word there, but yeah, I know. And that one misspelled wrong too. So, but let's take a look at this. I forgot to change it earlier. Let's take a look at this. They did this research with high school students and middle school students. Okay, so they asked 4 simple questions. Have you ever used marijuana? So 37% total, and 37% female use it, 37% male use it, girls and boys. I was kind of shocked. In my mind, I was always thinking boys are using marijuana. I never thought about girls are using marijuana until I saw this report. I said, oh yeah, they equally, statistically at this show. They asked like 5,000 California students in different environments. Okay, now the second question they were asking was, if you try marijuana for the first time before age of 13, that's when you're in 7th grade, I think 7th or 8th grade, okay? And you can see number is quite low, 6.6, 5.1, 7.6. Oh, by the way, I put it in parentheses, this is Latino number. I made the ethnic specific research. You can do that, and I can choose white, black, Asian, and I chose Latino because that's most of our population. 41, you can see Latino number is a little bit higher than the overall population average, correct? So let's take a look at this. Smart people look at data and we can do data analysis. So let's do some data analysis. Almost 40%, can we say almost 40% of teenagers have used marijuana before? And about 6% of them did it in middle school. This is middle school time, correct? So that sends a huge alarm to me. That means not so many people were using marijuana in middle school, but when they come to high school, oh my goodness, the number increased by about 35%. That's a huge spike. And by the way, when I did the grade by grade analysis, senior, the higher that you go, the more higher the number that people using marijuana. So freshmen, they're really okay, and then sophomore more and more, and senior are the highest number. Okay, now this is a more important number right here. Currently, you're using marijuana. Oh, what happened? Hola, wake up. Okay. Right there. Okay, currently using marijuana. This is like, hey, you actually, when they took the survey, they were using marijuana. Okay, they didn't stop. 21%, 20%, 29%. Oh, by the way, let's go back to this. Do you see how high a number Latino male was using the marijuana back in middle school? This is an unusual high number. Okay, this is 6.5. So we can honestly say about 1 in 10 boys was using marijuana back in middle school. This is very, very alarming number. But they come to our high school and then there's about 20, but Latino male is still high, Latino female actually got lower. Okay, but I wanted to share this with you. I think this is very encouraging data. Although using drug is bad, but think about this. If we say this is about 40%, so people tried but only 20% continue to use them. That is encouraging me because 20% said, oh, I tried it, I don't like it, so I'm not using it. That's what this data tells us. Can you see that difference? Okay, data analysis. So that's good. If this would be 40, that means they tried it and liked it, they stayed with it.
But then over here, they tried it and they liked it even more, and they kept doing it over here on the mill side.
Where?
Mill side.
This one?
No, over here on the other side. Mill side. No, over here. Right here. But
Right here?
It
Yeah.
was 40. More than 30%, and then it went down. Currently they're even using it even more now.
No, 40 tried, so 23 continued to use them. So 40 subtract 23, 17 said no, 23 continued.
Oh, all right.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you for asking that question. So 70%, almost more than 20%, close to 20% say, oh, we don't want to try it. But this is an unusually high number too. So more boys, Latino boys, are using marijuana, continue to use marijuana. Okay, now this one is different. This one, how many of you have heard about this word, synthetic marijuana? And people, what does synthetic means?
Well, it would be like vape cartridges, no?
Yes, yeah. It's this one. Synthetic means man-made.
Yeah.
It's not natural. It's mixed by chemicals. Do you know who make them?
Yeah.
Marijuana farms in China. Okay, I saw with the YouTube video a reporter disguised as a marijuana farm worker, and you call it marijuana farm, but it's actually a rundown house, and rats and cockroaches running, and the floor was wet because they're using chemicals, and it was sticky, and they put on the apron. It was so unsafe, and they're mixing different chemicals, try to mimic marijuana. It's not grown naturally with the plant. And think about it. And who are these people? These are like a college chemistry students. They don't have to hire a real chemist with a PhD degree. No, just hey, you know how to read, different ingredients. You just put them together. So, but the problem with these many illegal marijuana farmers, hey, if they're given a list of ingredients to adding, and say 1 milliliter of this. And then they're gonna, achoo, whoa, oh my goodness. It says why I put in 10. And you think they're gonna stop and say, oh, that is so unsafe, we're gonna start another one? No, they're for profit. They say, yeah, I'll forget about it. Let's just continue with the next one. Achoo. And what's the end product? No one knows. No one knows what's the end product. And you put that into your vapors and then you're gonna smoke it. Do you really know what you're smoking? So that's what. By the way, this number is so low because this survey was done in 2017. But in the last 2 years, I think this number has gone up dramatically. I think that's a preferred drug for most of the teenagers right now. So you gotta be very, very careful buying those synthetic ones. With marijuana, there's not many deaths, but synthetic opioid, so many people died. Thousands are dying each month. Yeah, opioid, they are coming from synthetic. It's so cheap for them to produce. And they manufacture them in China, went to Mexico, and come into the United States. Everybody knows about this. You need to be aware of this. Okay, so be very, very careful. Synthetic is man-made, and these people, they're there for profit. They don't care about your health. You think when they're making them, they're thinking, oh, some teenager in the United States is going to smoke this, or am I going to be careful about their lives? No, they don't care about you. Okay, and I'm going to show you how marijuana is used. This is from that report, and I'm not trying to educate you, but this is how people use it. The old-fashioned way: dry marijuana, roll it on a joint, smoke. I think this is the preferred one for the teenager now. Okay. Yeah, I told you one day on that computer, someone was charging a device like this, bigger than this, and then when I plug it out, I said, oh, USB drive. And about half of my students, their eyes like this big, and someone told me, Mr. Zhao, that's not USB drive. And I said, USB, and I saw the little tiny button, and I pressed on it, a pipe came out. And then I thought, oh, well, that was a vaping machine. And then a student actually showed me, and said, Mr. Zhao, you can look at it, it was like a dark brown, very, very dark brown residue, kind of like oil liquid there. And then the student was telling me, oh, Mr. Zhao, sometimes they put fake honey in it and try to make money out of you. And I have some students, my next period saying, Mr. Chow, you should use it or something.